Good evening. Welcome back to episode 83 of Combe TV. Goodness me, how the hell did we get that? Welcome to you all. You're all still piling in. That's brilliant to see. Don't forget, get your comments, get your questions, get whatever in. It's going to be a bumper show because it's a bumper weekend. So we've got the Summer Spectacular this weekend, 2 days, jam-packed full of entertainment. And we're going to preview all of that. Thankfully, I'm going to be ably assisted by my glamorous co-host, Kat Dalocco, will be with me this evening. But to start in a moment, once I've spoken with you all, is that we're going to have our special guests that are representing the Caterham Graduates Racing Club, a club that historically has always been close to my heart because Caterham Racing is amazing. These guys really dish up some very friendly paddock and exciting racing, and we're going to catch up with the chairman and the driving standards bod. That's a good thing, by the way. He's a good lad. He's a good lad. He's a racer as well. So we're gonna be catching up with them shortly. But quickly bringing up your comments. Ben Pemberton, you were first in this time, mate. Well done. Evening, Chris. How do everyone? Good evening to you, mate. Medic Mason, good evening all. Hello, mate. I hope you're not too busy this weekend, Chief. One of our mighty Orange Army, Drewster. Evening all, bring on all those races. All those races. It's the key phrase, isn't it? I've got the 2 timetables in front of me. Crazy, crazy busy. Tim Perry, another one of our Orange Army. Evening all, Dilly Dilly. If you insist, mate, Dilly Dilly indeed. I know that Matthew Willoughby was getting the gin in and beer, wasn't it, from Zandvoort? Is that right? Yeah, he's nodding his head. He's got beer from Zandvoort and everything. Yeah, he has as well. He's got it. Dilly dilly to you, mate. Excited for the weekend. Me too. Me too. It's going to be epic. Jamie Peters Ennis, evening all. Thoroughly looking forward to the summer spectacular. Only doing the Sunday as I'm at Anglesey on commentary duties on the Saturday. I guess that's Fun Cup, is it, mate? So travelling overnight. Yes, I am mad. Would I change it? Absolutely not. I'm with you on that one, mate. Mike, evening, Mike Cotton. Evening all, he says. Carl Alden says, evening, Dawsey and all. You're enjoying this year, aren't you? With your lad doing absolutely amazing in the hot hatches. Great to see. Tim Perry with a shocked look saying episode 83. I know. You think we started this in lockdown, myself and Tom Davis, and it's just kept going on and on and on and on. Our very own Emma Strawford, evening all. Lasagna and red wine on the go here. I'm impressed. I had chili earlier, but I've finished that so that I've just got the gin now. Be rude not to, wouldn't it? Lewis Bird, Motorsport. Good evening, everyone. I hope all is well. Sat listening with a Domino's pizza. Other takeaways are available since I don't get anything for that product placement. And Chris Mason says, I'm not getting in the medical car this weekend. I hope you're right there, mate. Hope so. Josh says, hi, Dawsey. Hi, Joshy. Hello, mate. Hope you're well, young man. Tim Fuchs Bale says, evening, everyone. Evening to you, Tim. And Jamie Peterson says, yes, mate, it is the Fun Cup. 2 3-hour Fun Cup races to keep me entertained. 10 p.m. finish. Goodness me, mate. Tim Perry confirms that he's got Hunter's chicken and a can of Thatcher's. What Thatchers? Just normal Thatchers? I'm a Thatcher's Haze man myself. Or the lemon, the cloudy lemon one. That's a good one. I do like that as well. Slip and Grip Automotive say hi all. Now, which of you is that? Is that Ross and you're going for another belter of a weekend? You were incredible every time, actually, but last time was particularly well. This close to getting driver of the day as well, to be honest with you, mate. It was such a difficult call. Or is it Peggy, the real boss? You know that, Ross. But welcome to you both. 40, evening all. Are you back from holiday now, 40? Are you with us over the weekend, mate? Hopefully you won't be kept too busy, but we know that you probably will. Good evening, Sue. Evening all. See you Sunday. Oh, Kat, she's not helping you on the Saturday. You've not got Sue ably assisting you. No, that looks a very forlorn shake of the head from Kat there. Yeah, she's in tears. Tim Perry confirms it's Hayes. I love it. Good man. Hayes is a good one. Jamie Winrow, hello, mate. Will be good to catch up with you at the weekend. The Winrows, again, another family synonymous with the Caterham racing, and I'm delighted to hear that you'll be with us, mate. That'll be absolutely brilliant. I noticed there's some familiar names still there, but there's a few that aren't, which I found interesting as well. There you are, Kat. Sue Woodland says, sorry, Kat. So she apologises she's not there. Dave Rush is just wagging a finger at you, Sue. You're in trouble. Dave Rogers, evening, mate. Another one of our mighty Orange Army. Evening, peeps. Emma Strawford says, not impressed with the shirt, young man. It's fine. It's just a normal T-shirt because I've got to keep my stuff ready for the weekend. It's all, pressed and ready, clean, pressed and ready for the weekend. So there you go. It's 2 days. I need both the shirts. So there you go. Right. Let's get our first guests out because we've got plenty to talk about it. And these two are on deliberately because we've got 2 different Caterham Graduates Racing Club Championships. And they're the ones that are going to know all about it. It's going to be the chairman and the driving standards dude as well. Let's bring them on. Good evening, gents.
Hi there, Chris.
Matthew Willoughby, point the right way. There we go. Matthew Willoughby, right there, is the chairman, and James McCall. Is that right? Driving standards,
dude.
Yeah.
Driving standards, dude. That's fine.
I'll go with that.
I'll go with that.
And you're a racer. You racing this weekend as well?
Yes, I'm also racing this weekend. Yeah.
Who's the driving standards when you're on track then?
Well.
I feel like I've just stirred then.
No, you haven't. We've got two different. We've got the 135 Championship and the 150 Championship. So there's a team of us. There's half a dozen or so, 3 from one, 3 from another. So if I have a punt with someone in the 150s, then it's the other championship that will investigate me.
Got you.
And vice versa.
Sense. That does work.
Keep it all fair.
Yeah, that does work well. So, Matthew, I was talking about your beverages. You got something you bought back from Zandvoort.
Yeah, it's quite dangerous, this stuff.
Yeah, it's about 10% in it or something.
It's exactly 10%. Yeah, so it is some Dutch dark beer that's it's nice and cool and going down a treat. Too well.
I was trying to work out, James, whether that was an alcohol-free one you just zapped then.
No, it certainly isn't. It's just it's your normal cooking Peroni.
Weird subject change. I'm intrigued. We've got this advert now. I'm pretty sure it's either Peroni or Birra Moretti with sea salt in it. Has anyone had that yet?
Sea salt in beer?
Yeah. It's advertised on the TV at the moment, and I'm completely intrigued by this.
That's kind of, well, I guess everyone sort of said that about salted caramel chocolate, didn't they, when that first came out?
Yeah.
Why would you put salt in chocolate? But I can't really see it with beer.
Yeah, no, I can't either. I mean, I suppose salted peanuts have always been a good staple snack while supping on beer. So maybe they're trying to just save time and put them together. I don't know.
Sell less peanuts that way, of course. It's probably, it's not great for the pubs, is it? If that's
no. But we'll see. Matthew, as chairman of the Caterham Graduates, which is so cool because you and I have known each other for more years than I probably care to remember now. The way time flies, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
I think it was Croft 2017 that we first met.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever been back to Croft?
I haven't. I don't. Or if I have, it's been once more, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Only because it's a long blooming way.
Yeah, it is. Apart from we're moving house soon, we'll be about an hour away from there. But everywhere else, like Castle Combe, will be a very long way away.
It is. So you've got it the other way. But I mean, yes. So my key point being there, Matthew, is that you've been involved with Caterham Graduates for a very, very long time, and it is about being a family, isn't it? The club is the critical word within that title.
Yeah, that's the differentiator between us and the other Caterham series, really. That we are run by the drivers. There is no kind of commercial aspect to it. We're a not-for-profit. We do look to make money, but the idea is that is always completely reinvested back in the club, and that we're doing this just because we love doing it. We create the club that we want to race in is the whole idea of it, and to try and do it in a slightly different way to some of the other competitor series that are out there, because a lot of people will know there's no lack of choice when it comes to racing Caterhams.
No, absolutely. And not even just in Caterham's races. They go into a lot of other things as well. I think we'll probably have a few out in the GTs, granted not particularly normal Caterhams, but they get a bit everywhere. The key thing, and James, I turn to you, is that Caterham racing, I've always used the phrase with commentating, is that we just read the story that's written for us by you guys on the circuit. And when the writing is as good as Caterham's classic minis, legends, things like that, where it's just like constantly, chopping and changing, it must be just so exciting from a driver's perspective to race in the Caterhams.
Yeah, it's massively exciting, because what makes it fun is obviously they're not the most aerodynamic things. So, I mean, when you get a tow, it's hard to describe really, but all of a sudden, from driving flat out, you're having to brake early and let off to avoid hitting the car in front. That's how powerful it is. It feels like someone's come up behind you and smacked you with a baseball bat as you pull up to the car in front. Really? So it means that if you're the car in front, it's very, very hard to get away. You know, as you know from watching all this racing, I mean, it's pretty rare that someone breaks the toe early on in a race. So it's the fact that makes it exciting. It also means that a driver who hasn't perhaps got the outright pace to qualify at the front of the grid, if they don't get a toe or whatever, it means they can still win a race because you know, tactics come into play and stuff like that. So you don't always, it's not always the same people winning. Everyone, you know, there's much more people on the grid who have got a chance because of that. And that's what makes it so exciting.
And especially when, you know, going back to your role as the driver standards dude, as I call it, is that it's always been in place, you know, going back, Matthew and I knowing each other since 2017 or whatever, is that it's always been highly policed so that people can go out there. It doesn't mean that incidents don't happen, but not from aggressive, poor driving. It'll just be from mistakes because it's stamped on immediately.
Yeah, and I mean, there's loads of good reasons to have a driving standards team. The main one, in my view, I mean, everyone takes something different from it. The main one for me is it keeps the whole thing more economic. It keeps the costs down, because you don't tend to attract the type of people who are willing to put their car somewhere that basically says, well, do you want to have an accident with me or not? I mean, that's kind of not what we're interested in. And, you know, there's plenty of people, including me, that have gone through a whole season with, you know, I'm not going to talk numbers for obvious reasons, but buying almost no new bodywork or any other bits for the car. I mean, so we can race, and we do race wheel to wheel all the time, but most people especially people who have been with the club for a while, have got the confidence to go wheel to wheel with people on the grid, and they know that they're not going to get themselves involved in, you know, someone's not going to turn in on them. They're going to get given space and stuff like that. So that's what we're kind of here to do. And I think police is the wrong word, to be honest, Chris. We're not looking to police anything. We're looking to say to people, so we investigate every bit of contact that there is in a race. You know, significant contact. I mean, if a couple of people touch wheels, we're not interested in looking at that. But we investigate any significant contact in all of the races. And most of the time we look at it and we say, well, yeah, you could have given a bit more space. You couldn't have been so optimistic, but it is a racing incident. But you know, if someone constantly does that kind of thing and they start costing people money and stuff like that, we have to give some consideration to whether we want that kind of driver in the club. And that's pretty rare. But the fact that we've got that in place gives people the confidence to come into the club.
Yeah, the whole prevention's better than cure type thing is you know, it does ring true. I love the fact that we've got another old grad watching, Chris Savage. We talk about driving standards. The last picture I saw of him in the Caterham was upside down at Thruxton. But that's not the fastest line I hear, but there we go. But Sav, bless him. And in fact, this weekend, I was covering Speedfest at Brands Hatch, and it was lovely catching up with another two grads, old boys, in Darren Ford, get well soon, mate, and Mark Jones. And this fraternity carries on, doesn't it? Outside, by the way, Sav has even turned around and gone, harsh. Sorry, mate.
That was at Thruxton, if I remember rightly.
It was indeed. Yeah.
You probably investigated that one, James.
I did.
There you go. Even good evening, Mr. Creech. John Creech says, John Creech, I'm going to call you the gentleman in the red jumper from now on. Said, I remember that at Thruxton where it flipped at the complex, and he has the video as well. It was just an unfortunate coming together, that one, wasn't it? But yes, we're only joking, Sav. Sorry, mate. Hopefully, we'll see you soon. But yeah, I find, Matthew, that there's those that just are in the vortex and will never leave. And I mean, I'm just looking through at just a few of the names like Harry Kramer, Jamie Elwood, yourself, Charles Elliott, Amanda Anderson, Barry White, Kim Raymond, Harry Senior. You know, it just goes on and on and on. These names that have just been in it for a long. Okay, actually, Harry Senior is a bit more recent, but it feels like ages. But it's like a vortex. You just get sucked in and you don't leave.
Absolutely. Jamie Elwood, I think 2001 he started, maybe 2000. He's done other things and he keeps coming back. So, yeah, it has that effect on people.
The Winrows, we heard from Jamie Winrow, the 2 generations of the Winrows racing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember racing Jamie's dad around Castle Combe last time we were there. But yeah, great to have Jamie back. It's a while since he's raced with us. So, yeah, really looking. Sorry, Susie.
Yeah.
Hello, Susie.
Got to remember Susie.
Susie, we can never forget Susie. Susie and her daughter Amanda have been around with the grads again since 2011, I think, something like that. And Susie is social liaison. She's the one that goes around the paddock and welcomes all the new members and makes sure everybody feels welcome, knows what to do, knows who to see with any problems, all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a family. The whole idea of our racing is that you're racing with your mates, and it's a weekend away doing what we all love doing. The driving standards thing is really important to us because we want people to feel comfortable and safe doing it and having a go in the knowledge that no one's going to do anything stupid. But yeah, that's what keeps bringing some of these people back, those names that many have been around for 10, 15, 20 years.
And I'm not surprised, you know, it's just such fun racing. But I find it really cool, actually, is that there's loads of clubs now using the phrase that says you spend a lot more time in the paddock than you do on circuit. And so we want to make it a lot of fun, inclusive. And I think I've been doing that with you guys for a decade, probably, you know, and you guys, that was actually what you set up as, rather than the other way round of sort of bringing that in, is that I would say it was kind of people that certainly certainly historically it was called the graduates because it was people that had gone and raced Caterhams and had the cars and wanted somewhere else to go and race them. And they graduated, so to speak.
Yeah, so the factory missed a trick. Back when they did this amazing thing of setting up the Caterham Scholarship for novice racers, they've got the Caterham ladder down to a T now. It's a wonderful product that they've got, and it works a treat. But when they started the scholarship, as it was before it was changed to the academy, they didn't have a follow-on series. So if you wanted to continue racing your scholarship car after that first year, there was nowhere else to race it. So that's the whole idea of the graduates, is that it was a bunch of mates who wanted to continue racing each other in their scholarship cars. And they created a club to enable themselves to do that. And whilst none of those guys are still around in the club, it's that exact same ethos that we continue with.
It's great to even see in the likes of Andrew Outerside these days, because obviously he's hunter turned gatherer. He's upstairs now, isn't he? But I see him at, I think, when was the last time I saw him? A few weeks ago at Cadwell Park in race control. It's just these wonderful characters that just keep going, and it makes sense. Jamie Peters Ennis says, do the grads have it in their regs that drivers can do a day's marshalling to get points for the championship? Forgive me if I've mistaken it for another series.
No, we don't. I think it was in the regs many years ago. It was also in the Caterham Academy regs. James, you've done that more recently. I don't know if that's still a thing in the academy.
That's still in the Caterham Academy regs.
You'd get 10. It used to be 10 points you'd get for doing a day's marshalling. So all the competitive guys would do it, and those lower down perhaps not. Yeah, it's something we should encourage. It's something I talk about doing all the time and never get round to, which is daft, because I know I'd learn a lot from doing it. We should encourage it more. But yeah, the one thing we always do want to get across is how appreciative we are of the marshals and all the hard work that they put in on our behalf. It is massively appreciated. yeah, they're a family kind of like us. They're doing what they love with their mates, and
Exactly.
that's what so much of this sport should be about. Whichever role you're playing, whether it's in a car, the other side of a fence, or in the race control.
I remember. I tell you one other thing. I will just quickly. Paul Wiltshire says, "Evening all," and then he says, "I can remember hosting drivers on post." So there you go, Paul Wiltshire, one of our Mighty Orange Army, can remember hosting them on post, because of course they do. They need to be looked after during all of that. Oh, by the way, Chris Savage says you'll see everyone at Cadwell in July. Is that behind the wheel, Sav, or just watching?
I think he sold his car. So
I thought he had, yeah.
To one of James's mates, actually.
He has indeed. Alaric Barney has bought his car.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
It's a name that's been around for a good while as well now, isn't it, Alaric? Yeah.
Well, I think it's only 3 years, but it's one of those names that sticks in the memory for some reason.
It does for a commentator, yeah, because you've got to try and pronounce it right every time.
Yeah, I don't know why people struggle with that.
I don't know.
I mean, the amount of different combinations I've heard of his name, Alaric and stuff like that. I mean, it's bizarre.
I think half the time it's because, as you can possibly imagine, we got paper like the grids, and we've got all the names, and we got colours, and we got this, and we are doing like this. And certainly for a while, is that you're still constantly looking at the paper, but it's a quick one. And if you see that name, it's not one that we're used to seeing written down, and so we just make mistakes, despite how hard we try not to. It just happens from time to time.
You actually have to read it rather than just going, "Oh, I know that name."
Exactly right. You do, genuinely, and that's where in the speed of everything, the mistake happens.
He tends to provide good viewing value as well, so you can't avoid using his name. You're gonna have to use it.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I miss though. James, were you around when the classics were racing as well?
Yes, I was.
I miss those. I tell you, they with because of the windscreens. Oh, is that what's there? Is it?
That's 2012 at Cadwell in mine. Yeah,
slipstream heaven, wasn't it, with those because of the windscreen and everything?
I mean, I don't miss them because I came into grads as they were they were a bit of a dying breed, so they were mixed in with the 135s. I can remember getting quite a few scares coming across those guys.
They were incredibly slow, but the racing was brilliant.
Always. I mean, you just didn't want to be in the lead until the line, basically. It wasn't even the last corner of the last lap, was it? The
windscreens did help the tow.
Totally.
Yeah. The one thing I tend to say to people about the tow, it makes the racing, but also when you are tucked in behind another car, everything goes still because you are in this bit of a vacuum. You pull out and suddenly you hit the wind and it gets noisy again.
Really?
It's more than just the effect on the car, but you actually hear it.
Yeah, you get the opposite effect when you pull out. You get the opposite effect. It's like someone steps in front of you and hit the front of the car with a baseball bat. you can feel the wind suddenly build up again, and it's like a hand saying, "Well, that's enough," kind of thing.
Wow,
and it makes that much difference.
That's a cool insight into it. I mean, it's like I thought that I get it, but that's just good to hear it from that side. Over the years as well, it's sort of like changed from classics and Sigma and Sigmax and da. It's now just two, isn't it? They're both Sigmas, but it's the 135s and the 150s.
Correct. Yeah.
So explain that to me now.
Right. So let's start at the beginning. So classics, like that one up there, that was the original Academy car, 1995 to 2000, live axle, Vauxhall and Ford Crossflows. They fizzled out about 2020, so we had a good 20 years of them. There was then the K-Series cars, which ran until probably 5 or 6 years ago. And now we are onto the Ford Sigmas, or the 1.6 Z-Tech as Ford would have branded them. The 135 cars, 135 horsepower, pretty much current Caterham Academy cars with a few upgrades. The 150s, exactly the same car as a 135, but with a limited slip diff and a bit more power. So the two classes are very, very similar in terms of what the cars are. The two classes works well. It means that each class can have its own grid at the vast majority of circuits that we go to, which people like. So whoever you're racing on the track, you are racing in your championship generally. It works really well. We have had times when there's been 4 or 5 different classes, which in some ways is great. It means there's somewhere for people to race their cars, but it does mean that you are on mixed grids, and it does mean that the number of people that you're racing tend to be smaller. So I think we're in a really good place at the moment with having the 2 and decent numbers in both.
Yeah, because it used to probably be, what, 4 different championships, probably?
Yeah,
So
there was a
you
time
kinda
when it's
get 2
classics,
together.
supers, megas,
That's
Sigmax.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, there've been times when it's been 4 or 5.
Which tended to, as you alluded to there, mean that you tended, well, you both alluded to it as well, was that you'd have a couple of the different championships on the same grid as well, which I have to tell you from a from a commentator's perspective was always hard, because you basically had 2 races going on at 2 different sides of the circuit, and
it sucks for the guys who are leading their class, but they're not at the front of the action, because whenever it gets live streamed or anything, and whenever you commentate, you're only gonna you're forced to kind of to concentrate on what's happening at the front, and they're having their whatever kind of race they're having mid pack for first position in their championship. It doesn't kind of get radar. It doesn't get the attention it deserves.
Agreed. With the best will in the world, we always pride ourselves on trying to make sure we cover everything, but even with the best will in the world, it's not going to get the same level of coverage, is it? It just physically can't. I mean, I'm just looking at the numbers you've got as well. It is really good. We've got so in the 150s, you've got Harry Senior, who missed Zandvoort, didn't he?
Yeah, so Harry is concentrating primarily on the Caterham 7 Championship UK, I think, as they call it now, which is a kind of premier Caterham factory championship, and is joining us. I think we had a clash at Zandvoort, so the grads were there at the same time as Harry was racing his other car. That was the only clash in our calendars, so I think we're expecting him for the rest, possibly until Donington. So if he's in with a shout of the championship at the end of the year, I think he'll probably do both at Donington at the end. But yeah, that's the reason he missed Zandvoort.
And that'll be defending the championship, won't it?
Again.
Yeah.
He's annoying like that.
Yeah. Well, I remember when it must have been during the pandemic, and they set up an E-series, and they got me to commentate on it, which is where I found that there's a future in drinking gin while commentating. It works. It really does. And he was amazing at the sim, but he hadn't gone out in the real world yet. And then suddenly he went out in the real world, and he delivered exactly the same quality again. And very talented young driver.
Yeah, no, he's incredibly good, and he's incredibly fair. I mean, James has recruited him as part of his driving standards team. He's quick, but he's absolutely one of those guys you would trust to know where you are, to leave your space and not do anything silly. So it's possible to be blooming good and clean and fair, and that's Harry kind of exemplifies everything that we want to promote.
So he's become a driving standards dude as well.
Yeah, he has.
I like it. Sorry, I've been ignoring a couple of comments. I want to make sure I put these in. So Paul Wiltshire, we said about the fact that he can remember hosting drivers on post, and a great comment. He says it was good as a marshal to get a driver's perspective on racing and to share with them what and why we do the things the way we did. That was a good insight, wasn't it? And Paul also picked up on our comment about where you've got, in effect, 2 championships in the same one. And he said that showed, with the split grid for the mini racing at British Touring Cars last weekend, the fact that commentary leaned towards the group at the front of the race. I mean, you get that in the circuit commentary because you tried to cover it, but you're handing back and forth to each side of the circuit between commentators. And so you've kind of got to pick something, but you try to cover the rest. If you're doing the TV coverage, you literally can only commentate on what is being shown on the screen. So it's very difficult on that one.
It gets so much more difficult as well when often you'll find the leaders in a slower class end up mixed up with the slow ones and the fast, and it's so hard then as a commentator to figure out what's going on. Absolutely. If you're not really on top of following that series week in, week out.
It's hard enough if you're in the race.
Yes, I can imagine. I really can imagine. And then we just bail out and just talk about nothing. Casino Square says, funny enough, Caterham's was where my race lab story began. Like it. I didn't know that, actually, so that's pretty cool. Just another quick comment. Dave Baggy Malpass, evening, Mr. Dawes. So good to see you, and hope your gin is a single shot. As to slower words in your commentary, won't be any good. It wouldn't been the first time, would it? Paul Wiltsh has also made a point. Has put an unfortunate spelling mistake there because he probably meant flagging rather than fagging. But try flagging that. I can imagine, Paul, that must be really, really hard to sort of pick out who you're flagging. But just quickly on the 150, so Harry Senior, Martin Gleich.
Gleich.
Yeah.
Gleich, yeah. Jamie Elwood, he's a multiple champion as well, isn't he?
I think he's the most successful Caterham racer there is, full stop. You know, he's won at least 8 championships with us, probably getting on. So he's getting on for 10. He's also raced with the factory series as well at some points and has come back to us.
And I love that he does keep coming back, and I love that his dad's always there as well. You know, Jamie Elwood's not exactly that young anymore, and yet it's still dad and lad always at the circuit, and I absolutely adore that, and I really like the Elwoods. Peter Hughes, Felix Baggett, Graham Ewings, Andrew Johnson, James McCall, Bren Maud, Rob Warner, Matthew Willoughby. So you two become rivals then on circuit. That's what I like to see.
We do tend to spend quite a lot of time together.
I might have to sort of like big that up then while we're there. Jonathan Ems, Daniel Hamilton, Andrew Whitten, Harry Kramer, who, you know, again, someone else has been involved in his company. Has he still got the Caterham sort of track day company in that as well?
I don't know if he does anymore. No, Talk Motorsport you're thinking of.
Yes,
he did run track days and was a sponsor of the championship and things as well at one point. So yeah, he's been around a while.
Yeah, very much so. Thomas Horton, Charles Elliott, another name that's been around it for a very long time. He used to be on the exec as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Paul Folkes and James Sibbett. So that's the 150s. On the 135s, we've got Neil Perry, Mark Barrett, Liam Baslington, John Vincent, Chris Griffith, Andrew Bergbaum, Simon Nicholas, Paul Steed, Jamie Winrow, Richard Hoare, Simon Arnold, Michael Munns, Paul Armitage, Simon White, Kevin Turner, Amanda Anderson, Paul Vokes, Tom Power, Darren Holdcroft. I haven't had any info through from you yet, Darren, if you're watching. I know I normally get a wonderful commentators pack through from him. Giles Derry, Alaric Barney, Andrew Cooper, Thomas Gunter, Alan Bateman, Russell Gunter, David Poulter, and Peter Mott. I mean, that's a good size grid, isn't it? Goodness me.
Yeah, so I think we're at 49 entries at the moment. I think we think we're going to be at 50. Is really? Where we expect to end up, which we're really pleased with. So yeah, there's going to be 4 cracking races.
It is, because actually I got a note through with possibly some changes. So we've also added Craig Atkins to the 135s, Toby Clowes to the 150s, and Stefano Mara to the 150s as well. So a few additions on that one. And in terms of the championship stand-ins at this stage, I've got me multi-screen here, so I'm looking at different things. So leading the 150s is Thomas Horton at the moment, but very close with Harry Kramer. Well, in fact, so 113 for Thomas Horton, Harry Kramer, 99, Rob Warner, 97, Andrew Whitten, 96, Bren Maud, 90, Jamie Elwood, 90.
Yeah, Jamie had a DNF. So in the 150s, there's 3 that I think are a little bit the class of the field. You've got Jamie Elwood, Tom Horton, and Harry Senior. They're the 3.
Yeah,
that James and I would love to knock off the podium, I think it's fair to say. And that there's probably another 8 of us that are desperately battling it out, trying to keep up with those guys. I don't know if you'd agree with my take on that, James.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair enough to say. Yeah, absolutely.
No, fair dues. Well, Andy Johnson says, looking forward to seeing everyone at Castle Combe this weekend. Sorry, but I need to head off to the garage to make sure my Caterham called Tony is ready to race. He's working on it flat out. You were as well, weren't you, James?
I was. I saw Andy on Friday having a little bit of a practice at Castle Combe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, you got plenty of practice.
You were there, James.
I was, but I didn't get to drive my car because my son spent all day in it.
Still cheeky testing though, but you guys are there. Are you there on Thursday and Friday or just Friday?
Friday. So one of our PT Sports Cars, one of the teams that runs a lot of drivers in our championship, have hired the circuit and are running a Caterham only track day there on Friday, where most of our drivers will be having a go.
Fair play. And I've got to remember, so it's Tom Horton. I can call him, not Thomas Horton. Yeah,
Tom will be fine.
That's fine. Just so
we've got other names that we can use for him as well.
No, I'm not allowed to say that on air. In the 135s, Paul Goldstein's leading the way on 119, Alaric Barney on 105, Paul Armitage 103, Thomas Gunter on 101, and Giles Derry on 100, Tom Power on 99, and Peter Mott on 97. That's bonkers close.
It's really close, and you've got Paul Goldstein who's leading. He's also doing the Caterham Roadsport Championship, so he's at Silverstone with them this weekend.
He won't be at Combe, which people will be very happy about.
They will. He did ask me what the timetable was, because he was thinking of getting a helicopter between the two circuits so that he could do both. But unfortunately, the timetables didn't. Not all of our members are quite in that same demographic. But good on him. The guy, he did the Caterham Academy last year. He's got so much enthusiasm for it. At the moment, he's absolutely loving it and just wants to be in the car as much. Oh, cars. He has two, as much as possible. So unfortunately, he's not going to be with us. We've had quite a lot of guests at our races this year so far from the Caterham Motorsport Series. So we've got fewer because of that clash, but I'm sure Jamie Winrow, if he's still listening, is going to be looking to keep that guests role going, because Jamie's just guesting with us this. Well, I think maybe he's doing the Trophy Championship, which is our smaller series for people who can't commit to the full season. So you basically count 3 weekends to your scores and compete with people who are doing
I think I said to Alaric on Friday that Jamie Winrow had signed up, and there was just a big outtake of breath, and he kind of muttered a few words and walked off.
I think Jamie raced with 1-3. Hello. Jamie raced won the 135 championship in 22 and won every single blooming race. So so some of our regulars need to put him in his place, frankly.
Love it. And he does confirm he's doing the trophy. So that's good. Oh, and Andy Johnson says, oh yes, my favourite and local track. There we go. That means the locals will be cheering him on. So that's good. And Tim Perry confirms, yes, that's nice and close at the championship. And Chris Savage says you'll need sunglasses when looking at Craig's car. That was one of the additions, wasn't it?
Yeah, that'll be Craig Atkins, who's one of my fellow board members. He's had a new wrap, which inevitably means it's going to have contact with somebody.
Oh, yeah, that's always the way, isn't it?
But yeah, he's got a big. It's white with orange and green stripes and a big cat on the bonnet.
As you do.
You can't miss it.
Fair dues. I'll keep an eye. Hey, us commentators love that, so it's all good. So you guys, on the Saturday, you've got your qualifying sessions in the morning, 10:05 and 11:45. You're then the 135s are actually the grid walk at lunchtime if we manage to have it. That all depends on weather and any potential delays in the morning, and then it will be the first race will be the 135s, and then the penultimate race of the day, 8 races on day 1, 5:15 is the 150s, and that's absolutely okay, because you then come back and do your second races for each of those, race 11 and race 14, 11 and 12:55, the 135s and then the 150s, and then you're wrapped up by lunchtime as well on the Sunday.
Yeah, so it's it's good to be finished by lunchtime. Means people can get away, but it's going to be really good,
because it's thanks to you guys predominantly. Well, partly thanks to you guys that we're doing this on Tuesday night instead of Thursday night, because of the fact that most of you will be at the circuit from Thursday through till Sunday. Basically,
I think it's mostly because I was going to be driving on Thursday evening,
That's right.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes,
it's all on you, mate. Yeah,
it's all on you, mate. It's all on you. No, I mean, it looks super exciting. Is there anything else that, including anything that you want to say that your drivers to make sure they know to do ahead of this weekend or anything like that?
The only thing I could think of that we would just like to talk about briefly, I might just pass over to James for this, is our friends and family race.
I told you I'd forget this.
Which was a bright idea that James had last year, so I'm going to hand over to him to just explain what that's all about.
Okay, so we thought last year that it was a bit of a pipe dream, but we thought maybe we could try and make it happen. We get lots of friends and family who are essentially part of the grads club. You know, they get to know people, they enjoy coming to the races. And really the idea was to see if we could put some of them in the same place as we are. So get them to experience what it's like to go out and qualify the car. Get them to experience what it's like sat on the grid waiting for the red lights to go out. And to be honest, it was a selfish idea, because if you can get the partners that kind of involved in it, then everything else follows quite nicely behind that. So with that in mind, we've got a date marked out now that is going ahead in August at Snetterton, where we're going to do exactly that. We've got a qualifying session followed by a race for friends, family, everyone that wants the chance to come racing, where the only rule is they can't hold a current racing license, so they can go get their ARDs done and come and race, qualify and do a single race at Snetterton. And the idea is obviously to give people that experience, to get people a bit more involved with the club, and for lots of people who've got mates that come and support them. And there's plenty of we've got a couple of guys who have got mechanics that they've been with for ages who are they're going to come and do that. So that's the idea. That's what we want to do. We've got teams who have got cars that are available to rent. So you don't necessarily have to have a mate who's got a Caterham they can give to you. If it's something that you want to do, we can make it happen. It's as simple as that.
I must be honest and say, as soon as I saw you guys launch it at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, I would love to do that, because I've been sort of like enthusiastically commentating on you guys for a very long time, and not even other than sat in a passenger seat, not had.
So what would you have to cancel to be able to join us, Chris?
I think it's something significant.
No, the excuses are coming out now. Come on, there's nothing more important than that.
Well, there is, because you know me. I'm booked up commentating here, there, and everywhere. What weekend is that again?
Snetterton. It's our August race meeting. I think 17th, 18th of August.
You should have asked him what the urgent stuff he's got to do is first.
You know what it is, Matthew. You know what it is, because I approached you. I'm hosting the British Motor Show. Yeah.
Irrelevant compared to a race at Snetterton in a Caterham.
Well, yeah.
You might just not get that gig again.
I'd agree. The problem is that I would still have to go and get all my overalls and helmet and hands device and ARDs and everything else like that. And that's
loads
of people in our paddock would have some for you to borrow. It's and that's the whole idea.
In terms of all the gear, we're not racing during that time, so everyone's got more than enough overalls, boots, harnesses, safety gear, hands, helmets. Wow. We can provide that stuff. So we're talking about all you really need to do is have passed your ARDs.
Yeah, so it is a proper race. As part of a proper race weekend, we will do anything we can to get people who want to give it a go the opportunity to try it out. But yeah,
genuinely, joking aside, is that I was looking at going, oh my gosh, I'm really tempted, because I'm getting more and more tempted to get my racing license anyway, and get involved in things like, the fun things like the Enduro KAs or stuff like that as well. But to jump into Caterham would be like wow, the top level.
That would be a proper car.
Exactly right. But I mean, the fact that you've got the way for people to do this. So they need to be able to go to have a look. So if they go to cgrc.uk, presumably the information's on there to see how they can maybe get involved.
There is a document on the website that gives people all of the information they could need. So absolutely. Sorry, I'm looking down because I'm looking at my phone so I can get. So it is cgrc.uk. Just get the details of where that document is. Okay, event. No. Keep talking. Oh, yes. So, no, if you click on events and results, there's a link there. You click friends and family race, and there's a document that tells you everything you need to know.
It is. So go on to that events and family drop down, friends and family race. It'll pop it up into a new window. And that's the way to do it because it's such a cool way to potentially get involved. Chris Savage says, sounds interesting. Who wants to be my friend? We're all your friends, Sav. Don't you worry about that. Mike Cotton, one of our hardcore fans at Combe, says, what a great idea that is. Tim Perry, I think, is laughing at me. And Paul Wiltshire says, to you, this is James. Nice Yoko, Jerry, Kikomi, Joden on your T-shirt. Karate or what? I'm a second Dan myself.
Well, yeah, I'm quite embarrassed to admit that I found it in the back of a car I bought years ago. I don't even know.
I suspected something's up with the fact that you look down going, I've got what on my T-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Paul likes it. That's the main thing.
So look, on that friends and family thing, if there's people out there that want to have a go at this, get in touch with us because although you might think, well, I haven't got a car, I haven't got this, I haven't got that, we might be able to help you make it happen.
Well, come and find us in the paddock over the weekend. So my car is red with a white stripe, number 82. James, yours are kind of aqua blue-ish.
I like to call it. What do I like to call it? I forgot. Teal. That's the colour.
Very nice.
Jamie Peters Ennis says, I have a race license, brackets not yet renewed, but have never raced. Does that make me ineligible?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Fine. As long as you've never raced.
I think we can have a chat about that. Yeah.
I think we could sort that out. It's a friend. It's not a hard and fast. Yeah. If someone's raced before, they're not doing it. But if someone's had a license and never kind of activated it, that'd be fine. The important thing is you've got people who are wanting to do it for the experience of giving it a go. This isn't a race where you think getting people who are thinking, novice race, I could win that. I'm going to desperately go that and go for it. This is all about the experience and having a go and seeing if you like it, and an opportunity for us to reward those friends and family members that have supported us over the years. So James has got 2 kids doing it. My dad's doing it. And hopefully we're going to have a whole grid full of people in a similar position.
I genuinely think it's absolutely brilliant, and hopefully it's not the last time you'll do it. If it's successful, that we might see it return, and then hopefully I might get a chance to join you for that one, because genuinely always the Caterham is something that I've always sort of thought, you know what, I want to have a go in, even if it's a track day thing or something, because it just looks so much fun. So have
we not had you in a car yet?
Not in the driver's seat, no. I've only, I once got, you must remember the time when I got into Andrew Outerside's passenger seat, because at the next awards do, the photo that went up to mock me was me trying to get into this car at 6'3" and not the slimmest of fellas. It wasn't the easiest of journeys to get into that car. And so it was, did get quite a big laugh when that photo went on the big screen.
Yeah, well, we need to get you in the driver's seat, and we can do a video next time.
Yeah, but the problem is, if it's me in the car, it'll be the slowest moving video as well, probably.
Yeah, but you can commentate on yourself, can't you?
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Let's get me wired up. That sounds a good plan. Definitely. Gents, congratulations on that idea. I do applaud that hugely. I know that it won't have been the job of a moment. Really exciting to hear that. And it's great to see that we've talked about the longevity of the Caterham Graduates Racing Club, yet you're still innovating, and that is really has to be commended, and is one of the many reasons why I enjoy being associated with the Caterham Grads Racing Club over the years, and have made many friends through the Caterham Graduates Racing Club that I still catch up with, even if they've gone to other things. We still have a good bond and a good laugh, no matter what it is. Some have gone off to Sports 2000s and all sorts of things like that, and it's just lovely to see all of that. And I think that Tim Perry says, thanks guys, see you at the weekend, dilly dilly, really sums it up, is that it's going to be exciting racing back at Castle Combe. It's been 2 or 3 years at least since you've been back at Combe.
I think it's
more than that.
2018. I seem to remember.
Really? Okay, so that was before the pandemic, really.
Yeah, it was.
Blimey.
Yeah, there's a very quick story. I love Castle Combe. I did sprints there, getting on for 20 years ago.
Blimey.
Strangely, yeah. But when we raced there in 2018, it's the only time I've raced there. Did the new drivers briefing, at which they basically the idea of that was telling you numerous times, don't crash at quarry, don't crash at quarry. Oh, by the way, don't crash at quarry. Yes, fine. I've done sprints there. It'll be. What's the problem? Love qualifying. Love the first race, won by 20 seconds. Thinking I've got this nailed, haven't I? Guess what happened? First corner of race 2. I crashed it.
Yeah.
In all these years, it's the only proper crash I've had, and I have no intention of repeating it. But yeah,
good on you. You'll nail it. Jamie Peter Zenis has confirmed he's definitely going to pop over for chat. So anybody watching this, if they are interested to see if they or someone they know could fit the mould for this friends and family race at Snetterton in August, go into the paddock. The paddock, don't forget, is open. People can go in there, and we've got the new shop. Well, it's not even new anymore, but the Castle Combe shop that you can go and look at. The cafe, we've got the Red Bull DJ's going to be in there Saturday night. All sorts of things going on. But now, even more important than that, is the Caterham grads are going to be in there, and you go and have a chat about the possibility of racing. Ben Pemberton Racing says, never underestimate quarry.
I did.
You don't want to do that. It definitely bites, doesn't it? Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. I did warn you that we could probably carry on talking for ages about racing, because we share a mutual love for all things Caterhams and all things motorsport. But best of luck on Friday, and I look forward to seeing you all on Saturday and Sunday.
See you there. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Chris.
Best of luck, guys. All the best. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Right. Thank you to the Caterham Graduates Racing Club. That means she's been patiently waiting in the background. I'm going to bring her on because we're going to whip through all of the other details now. It is our very own Cat. Evening, Cat.
Hi.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's always a busy leading into these race days for you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just busy sat here looking at all those wonderful people that have signed on and done all their paperwork. And I'm just putting a scrutineering list of all those that haven't done all the stuff they should have done so they can scrutineer instead.
Fair play. Well, the lovely thing is, as soon as you come on, Cat, everyone's saying hi, Cat. Ben Pemberton Racer says, hi, Cat. Tim Berry says, evening, Cat. Hope you're not too busy. Well, that's not true, Cat. We want you to be too busy, don't we? Because that means it's going great guns then.
It's a really weird one because it's the first race meeting of the year, which is a Saturday. So you haven't got that luxury of a weekend sort of not working, as it were, to run to the Monday to get organised. So when Friday comes, you know that you're good to go on Saturday. And it's a busy lead up. So I'm there from late tomorrow afternoon with Darren from Caterham Graduates, and we're going to start seeing everybody in. So I'll probably just stay over right through until the end of the race meeting on Sunday, because Thursday's pre-race testing. That's going to be busy. Friday is obviously always pre-race day prep, get the Strawford Centre ready. Late entries, withdrawals, chase transponders, pretend to be happy and calm, and then, hi, John. Yeah, and then kind of freak out at the last minute, and then Cheryl will do her usual, it's okay, we can cross-reference, we'll be fine. Yeah, and then thinking about the weather forecast. And I think for me on this particular weekend, we've tried to be quite strategic with our placement of the paddock plan for both days.
Yeah.
So So my biggest plea would be for people just to be mindful of the fact that we're going to be super busy in the paddock. There's a large number of Arctic lorries that are coming. If you see a space, it doesn't mean it's a free space.
No, don't.
Yeah, so I know that sounds awful. Oh, brilliant, lovely, glad to hear it, Tim. So yeah, just to really just kind of be helpful in terms of just sort of keeping to your area where possible. I know that nobody really listens to that, but if we can start off well, it should make for a lot less stressful weekend and a changeover when the GTs and Formula Fords race on Saturday. They then will head off, and then we've got the MG Owners Club saloons and hot hatches for Combe coming in to race on the Sunday. So there's a bit of a changeover. We think we're organised. We're using Paddock 2 and the first section of Chippenham Road as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. So that all those people that want to come and arrive on Saturday, get set up, perhaps come and enjoy a little bit of a social Saturday evening, can actually get themselves in and organised and not be kept in a holding area until Sunday morning. So yeah, let's see how that sounds like a good plan, right?
It does. I think that's good. Just please everyone be patient and just know that logistically this is just incredibly hard. But as long as everyone's patient and helpful, then it will work. And it's got to work because Stuart Tinker-Taylor, evening mate, he says, hello, superstar Cat. So there you go. It will work with that one. Lewis Bird Motorsport says, evening, Cat. I'm looking forward to the meeting. Looks like a great timetable. I agree. Sue, well, she says hi, Cat, but she's only helping you one day. So
I think she thought better of spending 2 days with Shirley and myself.
Sue,
could be a bit frazzled by Sunday. Yeah,
true. She picked the wrong day, hasn't she? That's what it's about.
Definitely.
Tim Perry says, sounds very organised, Kat, but he also says, I know that feeling as I'm not at Combe until lunchtime Saturday, as I have to work Saturday morning. Then I'm at Combe Sunday all day. So yes, it's mixing it all up, and I shall be there from early Saturday morning, ready to fire up the mic, which actually turns out to be a very long day on the mic Sunday, because we'll be going live from just before 10 o'clock in the morning on the mic, which is
because I think we've got just three qualifying sessions on Sunday morning, isn't it? Something like that.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we shall be firing up the mic early there, whereas on the Saturday, sorry, it's not until sort of lunchtime that we'll do that. Bless her. We're only joking, Sue. Sorry, and we're only joking, Sue. We're winding you up.
Honestly, Sue, it's absolutely fine. That's an extra gin and tonic that Shirley and I can share between us.
Oh, now she'll come. She'll be there the whole time now. She knows that's got to be shared. No. And it really is, as was already being said there, it's a real bumper timetable. We start off Saturday morning. There's a couple of practice sessions for the graduates, and then for the mini challenge Clubsport with Airtec Motorsport, but then straight into qualifying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 qualifying sessions. Fingers crossed the grid walk. I don't think we've managed to have one yet this season, have we? Sadly,
no, we haven't.
Which is just unfortunate. It's the way it goes. It is a luxury that we're trying to have them at all, because it's not something that gets done everywhere. And then we're straight into the Caterham Graduates 135, the Formula Fords, the GTs. Then we got the Junior Saloon Car Championship. They will be really good, by the way. I covered the Junior Saloon Car Championship at Cadwell Park this year already. Seriously entertaining, some very promising young talent that's popping up in that, and we're going to be good. Historically, it's had a boom bang kind of reputation. It really looks like they've sorted that out, and it is such good racing that was an absolute pleasure to cover at Cadwell Park. So I'm looking forward to that. Then we got the second race for the Formula Ford, second race for the GTs, the 150s are out in the Caterham Graduates, and then we've got the first of the mini challenge Clubsport with Airtec Motorsport. I mean, that's a big deal to have a mini challenge race there, isn't it? It's the modern minis, but they are from the same stable that support the British touring cars. So
yeah,
it's really exciting that.
Yeah, I think if you were a spectator, what an exceptional value for money race weekend.
madness. It is genuinely madness. The mix we've got there, and if that isn't good enough, we then get into the Sunday, and we've just got 3 qualifying sessions: the Hot Hats, the MG Owners Club, and the Saloons, and we then suddenly throw in some new action. That race 1 starts, or race 9, but race 1 of the day starts at 10 a.m. possibly slightly before, so make sure you're there early. The track action, which is what we used to know as track attack, wasn't it? Yeah, and it's kind of got the Nippon, the Tricolor, all of those kind of things, who also now run the junior saloon, so it's like one of the same there. Then we've got the mini challenges, their second of 3 races, the 135s, the Hot Hatches, the MG Owners Club. The MG Owners Club were also at Cadwell Park when I covered the junior saloons, and they were brilliant there as well. Then we've got the 150s for the graduates. The lunch time grid walk then is the Junior Saloon Car Championship, because they're then the race straight after. So catch up with those youngsters. You just don't know how that some of those youngsters could be future British touring car drivers or GT drivers. You just don't know. And there is a couple of names in there in particular that stood out when I was at Cadwell Park. Saloon Car Championship, track action, Hot Hatches, mini challenge 3rd race, the MG Owners Club, and then rounding out the action is the South Surney Engineering Saloon Car Championship. I mean, I don't know, but we're going to be exhausted at the end of this weekend, aren't we? In a good way.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. I mean, we have had a challenging start to the season, but despite that, it's been some fabulous racing. And I know that, there's 2 days feels like a lot, doesn't it? When you realise how exhausted everybody must be after one. But strangely, it's actually quite nice to know that you can kind of build some rapport that's going to last right throughout the weekend, which is really good. Because sometimes, certainly for probably for you as well, Chris, but for Shirl and Sue and myself and Chris and maybe the coordinators, you go into the Strawford Centre at the start of race day, and before you know it, you come out and everybody's gone. You're
getting my message. You're getting my message for driver of the day.
It's like, oh, you mean we've had a race day on today? Yeah. You just don't see any, you don't see any of the action, but to see that over 2 days would be, really good and nice to have Red Bull DJ truck behind the cafe on Saturday night. So, I know we can't control the weather, but the bar and the cafe will be open. So it'd be good to have a little, chance for people to have a bit of a social. And then, we've got through to Sunday. And then I would like to mention that we have what's called a maintenance day on Monday at the circuit. So for those of you who have planned to stay Sunday night because you've got horrendously long journeys, not a problem. The site team know that you'll be staying over and making your way out on Monday morning. So that takes the pressure off as well.
Okay. But what does the maintenance day mean on Monday? That just means nothing else is going on track.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got
you. Yeah. So basically means that we've given, the circuit have given a day after to sort of just be mindful of the fact that there'll be a lot of people not clearing up, but sort of getting ready to head off, especially if you've been there the whole weekend. So, not everyone stays, but if you do, it's not a problem.
No, fair shout to that one. I love the comments coming in is that Lewis Bird said he looked at hiring a Mini for the Clubsport. So that's what we've got with us this time, but couldn't raise the funding in time to commit, unfortunately. But he was clearly excited by that. John Creech says the Junior Saloons is a great series, very clean driving most of the time. I agree, absolutely it is. Enjoyed a development day with them at Thruxton in March. Dave Beecroft has done a great job with that and track action. So he's just really, really turned this around. Evening, Alan Jenkins. Good to hear from you, mate. He says Junior Saloon Car Champion competitor James Sherrington is son of Patrick Sherrington, who is a multiple Sports 2000 and OSS class champion. Yep, I know that name very, very well. There's some pretty impressive. I mean, I'm not going to be exclusive about this, but you've got Harry Smith is leading the way in that championship, and he's been looking incredibly strong. I've always got to be careful for this because I'm trying not to pick out any names and forget about others. But you've got Luca Maserati was impressive at Cadwell Park. He had a little bit of bad luck. You've got Harvey Kersley who is son of the Kersleys that run Kersley Motorsport, and it's great to see that car out. That Bertie Bream. We've got some great instructors coming along as well that sort of getting involved with that. I know that Richard Fors was desperately trying to find a slot for practicing with his youngster with you, wasn't he, Kat? Because they left it a little bit too late, and
yeah,
the challenge with it, sadly, isn't it?
Oh, it's really difficult. Yeah.
It is. Ben Pemberton says, what an absolutely stacked weekend of racing. Such a great selection of championships on offer. Wow. And you'll see that in the description of this episode, it's got the links that you can follow to go and, see the details on the Calsacoombe Racing Club website that has all of the race-based information, and the Castle-Coombe circuit for this particular race weekend that's got all the tickets, which includes, don't forget, you've now got the Paddock Club. If anybody fancies that, you can actually be upstairs in the Strawford Centre and looked after up there. New for this year, the Paddock Club, which looks like a really cool thing. Mike Cotton, stop stirring, Mike. He says, let's hope we don't need another supply of Recticel. I agree, because in the board meeting, Kat, the other day, I think we were taken by surprise that the price has gone up quite a lot for that Recticel, and the circuit putting that in is just amazing, isn't it? They just invested 5 figures on a whole load more of it.
Yeah, and I think that, it's absolutely necessary for safety, and you don't really want to bog the drivers down with, these costs that just seem quite extreme. But no, I think we're quite lucky in that, whilst we don't want anything to ever get damaged, we do get, it has to be repaired and is action straight away. So that was, it just seems to be that everything's just increasing, at a very extortionate rate. We don't really, we don't want to have to put entry fees or change that too dramatically for next season. So I think for us, it's about just making sure that, if we can increase the numbers on the grids, then that helps keep the overall cost down for everybody. It's very difficult. I realise that driving is spread, thinly across the country these days. But, I think we still manage to hold our own. And, if we can just have these wonderful visiting grids in and around our home championships, then what's not to love about a fabulous day's racing at Combe?
Agreed, 100%. And I'm just going back because I know this was ages ago. Sorry, Stuart, but Stuart Tinker-Taylor says, hello, Chris and all. Hopefully catch up with you at the weekend. Fuffers rule, dilly dilly. And I've deliberately gone back to that comment because I'm just going to touch on the Formula Fords. We're back over 20 again in the number for this one, and hopefully still a few more that might enter. Nigel Dolan, Felix Fisher, Luke Cooper, some new names here as well. William Liston, out with Solely Motorsport, Tom Hawkins, Rob Hall. I'm hoping he's going to be out because he did a lot of damage to his car. Rory Smith, Chris Acton. We haven't seen him yet this year, have we, Chris Acton?
No.
Oh, that's good
to
see.
First time, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Barnaby Simmons out with Wayne Pool Racing. New name on me, that one.
Yeah.
Tom Radburn is out in a Kevin Mills car, so that'll be good. Alicia Hamlin, Alex Walker, Bob Hawkins, Andrew Rackstraw. Good to see that Andrew Rackstraw's back because he started off strong. He's out in the Kevin Mills car as well. Vincent J, Nathan Ward, Sean Macklin. So that means that we're missing an important Class B car there, sadly, aren't we? What does that do? Championship. I've lost the championship standings bits.
Yeah, could make quite a bit of difference this weekend, actually.
It really. Oh, darn it! I've just gone the wrong way. Let me just bring up. I did print everything out, and I'm so busy at the moment. I left everything in the office after I printed it all out, which is annoying. Let me see. Class B. So yeah, obviously Nathan Ward's leaning away. Sam Street.
Sam's not out. Yeah.
That's a key one that I was a bit worried that was going to be missing, which is a huge shame. I just missed the fact that we got a few. John Ford said, "Can the cost of Rector sales be mentioned?" I just did, John. Or are you saying I shouldn't have? I think it's fine, because it is a big deal. People just think it's a huge issue. But yeah, I remember when there used to be like £500 a section. I think we're looking probably 3 times that now. Jamie Peters Ennis says Andrew Rackstraw will be on a high after winning race 2 of the Carrera Cup at Thruxton. Wow, okay, so supporting the British touring cars, and he came won race 2 of the Carrera Cup, and he's now racing at Combe in the single seaters. But yes, so overall in the championship standings, Felix Fisher leading the way on 115, Luke Cooper on 103, Nathan Ward 3rd overall at the moment in his Class B car on 91. David Cobbold leading Class C, and Sam Mitchell leading Class D. So they are all out, but we got over 20 again, so that's really exciting for that one. I know he's on the list. Are we sure that Dylan Popovich is going to have his car sorted in time?
Yes.
That's amazing, isn't it?
He is amazing.
I love that, because that was quite some significant damage, and he's such a. I've got to mention this because my dad was with me at the last race meet, which is lovely. I haven't had my dad been able to join me for a while, and Mum and Dad were up for that bank holiday weekend, so he came with me to the race day and sat in the commentary box. But we wandered around the paddock together before I went over to the commentary box, and one of the people I introduced him to was Dylan Popovich. And even when we got home, he was making a comment to Mum about what a lovely man Dylan Popovich was, that he stood there chatting to us both for ages. And he and I chat all the time and we get on really well. But my dad was there part of it and was involved in that conversation. He just said, what a lovely, lovely man. And he just couldn't stop saying it. And I think that sums it up. And he really is. It really is.
I'll tell you what was entertaining. Did you see in the GT WhatsApp group chat that the Tom Walpole, who was in the KTM, who Dylan had a kiss with on the on the track, Tom was asking for some recommendations for some carbon fiber support, and he actually had a piece of Dylan's car in the booklet, which had obviously still got stuck to Tom's KTM, and it was all very good humoured, or at least I hope it was. It certainly seemed to be. But
they
that's
seem
what's
to be
really
fine,
nice. It's quite incredible, and the GT Championship, has, I mean, the numbers were in single figures when I first started, and and I think we've managed to kind of keep above, into double figures the last few race meetings, which has been really good. And even when there's a bit of trouble out there, it all just is very well mannered, and it's a really nice thing to see, actually. And we're very appreciative of the fact that it can't. I'm hoping, I haven't heard from Dylan to say that he's not. He certainly is intending. He
certainly
to be
was
there.
busy. He was busy, wasn't he?
And he wouldn't want to miss it if he didn't have to. So I think if he could have done, he'd have got out there for the second race, Chris.
Which there was no way that was going to happen.
But if he could have done, he would have done.
No, I agree. And the great thing is we're looking at 5 different Ginettas out there on the circuit, so that would be really cool. Which interestingly includes Ruben Taylor out in the Ginetta. Oh no, that's his Ginetta V40. Is that the silhouette thing? I'm not sure. I can't remember now.
Yeah, it's his first time back out for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Lotus Elise, we've got a few Caterhams out there as well. Jasmine Norman in the Audi TT. Philip Young in a Mitsubishi Colt as well. That would be interesting to see.
Yes, he raced at the beginning of the season, then wasn't able to make it for a little while, and has managed to make it back for this race. So yeah, it's good to see everybody's still sort of rallying around to get out there. So no, looking forward to that.
I forgot to, with regards to the other entry list, they'll be up in due course for you to be able to see. But things like, for example, if I look at Track Action, good numbers for that. And we've got things like a Seat Cupra R, a Sirocco, Clios, Peugeot 206 GTIs, Toyota MR2, a load of 206 GTIs actually. Clio 182, Saxo, Renault 5 GT Turbo, a Vauxhall Astra VXR, a Nissan 370Z. I mean, that's an amazing mix of cars we've got out in that. They were the ones that used to be sort of split into Nippon and Tricolor and things like that. And even together, we've got a great mix. Good numbers in the Mini Challenge Clubsport, to be fair. I would sit here and count them up, but that doesn't make for good TV, does it, to be fair? So we'll leave that one out. MG Owners Club, good numbers in that as well. mixing from ZRs, MG Midgets, MGBs, MGZR, MGFs. Got a couple of the MGFs out there as well. Junior Saloons is good numbers out on that one as well. In our hot hatches, well, I mean, the easiest thing is to sort of show you. There you go. There's the size of that entry list for the hot hatches. It's not about the names. It's just a whopping great big list with a few names returning, which is good to see. Nick Gwinnett, for example, seeing him back out again, that would be good to see.
Yeah.
So being a championship now is absolutely brilliant for the hot hatches. It's great to see everybody back out for that. And the saloons. Now, this is looking good. 1, 2. I will count this because this, I think, is worth counting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So, again, we're over 20 in the Saloon Car Championship as well.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think we've kind of, it's been a little bit erratic the last couple of weeks, but I think it's clear that there are a lot of things that happen at the very last minute, and it's a shame that the numbers sort of don't remain consistently higher. But actually, I just think we see that as a positive. For those people that are on the grid, to be out there racing with that many cars just makes for so much more fun, I would imagine, and more of a spectacle. Forgive me for not remembering how many were in each class. I know that's important to the individual drivers, but it's a good start, isn't it?
Oh, massively so. So, these things ebb and flow, and I can assure you, commentating all over the country, it's a challenge for absolutely everything that's going on right now. And so the numbers that we've got are good. So it's a packed timetable. It's going to be a packed paddock because we've got loads going on. The race is just going to be epic. I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart, and we're going to enjoy it all together. It doesn't matter what the weather is. It's just going to be so cool. Just trying to remember, is there anything else that we need to say? So you said about the Red Bull truck with the DJ waka waka at the back. So that was me mixing then. That sounded more like a.
Won't tell you actually what that looked like you were doing, but I'm sure he's very keen for people to get out there and have a go.
And this isn't this silent disco this time, is it?
No, this is the Jim. I don't know if you saw him, but he was here. Sorry, he was at the circuit on the Howard's Day first race meeting, and they had the big teepee on the field behind the cafe. So it's the same guy. So he's kind of up on the top of the truck. He normally invites people up to have a little mix or a play around on there. So yeah, it was just something to just add. Exactly. Yeah. Or something like that. Anyway, but that'll be good. The other thing I wanted to mention is it's really helpful for us when people are sharing sort of videos and social media stuff at the weekend, that you try and tag the racing club and the circuit, because it just really helps because I get so tied up with administration that actually I don't often get chance to promote the actual racing that's happening on the day. So do tag us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't do much on Twitter or X, sorry, but we are on there. So all of that support is really good for us as well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, do it. Share. Create your own posts and let everyone else share the photos, the videos, the action, everything like that. And of course, make sure that I get to see it as well, because I get to then call it out live on air as well. So we're all there enjoying the weekend together.
Yeah. We have a new battery in the winner's car as well, because whilst it was very entertaining watching the winner's car be towed back in at the last race meeting, we're going to go for a full-on working version this weekend. So so watch out for the winner's car looking particularly hot and
exactly. Give the winners the big wave and
definitely
one of those great uniques for Castle Combe. I think that covers everything now, Kat, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think on my little list, I just wanted to let people know there was something on Saturday night, departure Monday morning if needed. If you're going to come and arrive, security will be on the gates from about 10 o'clock on Friday morning, although by then I'm expecting the paddock to be packed with everyone that's been testing, and at the Caterham race day, the Caterham test day on Friday. And you know, there's a supplementary shower block right in the middle of the paddock, so if you need to use those, that's where that will be placed. And that's it really, just to say have an amazing race weekend. You know, we're really looking forward to it. We don't get to say or see very many people, only if you've been naughty and you have to go to see the Club, of course. But yeah, so Shirl and I will be in the Strawford Centre all over the weekend. And if you need us, let us know. And if you need anything passed to Chris, send him a message. And yeah, it'd be good to sort of have a nice buzz about the place again.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I'm up in the main box for this one. Ian Soman's over in Old Paddock, and I think Josh Barrett's doing the interviews. So drop us a line. Let's get involved. Make sure you wave up to the commentary box. It'd be great. And this time, Kat, seeing as it's the 2-day summer meet, I actually plan to be there for the whole of the Sunday this time as well. Not like last year.
That wasn't last year, was it?
Yeah, it was last year's summer 2-day event.
God, it was just an excuse. You wanted the kiss of life, didn't you, from me?
And I didn't get it. So it was
We don't
futile.
want a
It was
repeat.
absolutely wasted. And although it was ironically, it was the other way around, because the weekend after was American Speed Fest. That is one of my favourite events of the year, and I didn't get to go and do it because of the hospital stay. But this year it was good to be back at that, and I intend to be there for both days in its entirety for this meeting as well.
No repeats of that nonsense.
No ambulance journeys. I'm done with that, so that's all good.
Yeah, good.
All right, Kat. Well, I shall see you when I pop into you, as usual, into the Strawford Centre.
Amazing. Looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. It's so much appreciated. Yeah, we really enjoy it, even if we don't necessarily look like it at the time.
We just look tired. Johnny come lately, Nathan Sutton says, evening all. Dude, seriously, mate. We're just finishing, man. What's up with you? Tim Perry says, thanks, guys, for a great show, and see you at the weekend. Dilly dilly, indeed, mate. We shall see you there. Elliot Harris says, evening all. Hope you all have a great race weekend. Oh, he says day, but I know you mean weekend. I'll be watching TSL when I can from Silverstone with Team Brit. Well, good luck with that, Elliot, and I hope you have a good weekend working there, mate. Thank you very much from all of us for joining on this show, and we look forward to seeing you at the circuit over the course of the weekend. It's going to be a busy one, but my gosh, it's going to be fun.
Ciao.
Cheers all.